The night sky over Nevada was quiet, peaceful and full of stars. No one on Earth knew that far away, deep in space, a terrible war was being fought. Two powerful alien empires, the Zorvax and the Thalkai, had been fighting each other for thousands of years. Their war had destroyed planets, turned suns into black holes, and killed billions. But Earth had nothing to do with it. Humans had never heard of Zorvax or Thalkai. Earth was safe, or so everyone thought. Then, everything changed. It started with a loud boom in the sky. People in the Nevada desert looked up and saw a streak of fire falling from space. It wasn't a meteor. It was a ship, an alien ship. The strange craft tore through the sky and crashed deep into the desert. The ground shook for miles. A military team arrived quickly. They expected to find wreckage from a satellite or maybe a secret test aircraft. But what they found shocked them. The ship wasn't like anything humans had ever built. It was black and covered in glowing green symbols. Parts of it were melted, like it had been hit by weapons. Inside they found bodies, not human bodies. These were tall, armored beings with sharp features and glowing eyes. They were dead, but their presence brought fear. The soldiers quickly locked down the area. Scientists were called in. The U.S. government declared it top secret. As scientists studied the wreckage, they discovered strange technology, machines that seemed alive, weapons that melted steel like butter, symbols that changed shape when looked at. Everyone at the site knew one thing: this was not from Earth. 3 days later, something even stranger happened. In the middle of the night, the sky above Nevada split open. It looked like lightning, but it was silent. A huge tear appeared in the sky, glowing with red and purple light. And from that tear, something came through. A massive object, black as space, shaped like a jagged blade. It hovered above the desert for a moment, then fired a beam of white-hot energy straight down. The base was gone in an instant. Hundreds of people, scientists, soldiers, and workers, vanished in seconds. There was no time to call for help. No warning, no defense. Satellites caught only part of the attack before the energy pulse fried their systems. What remained of the alien ship in the desert was turned to ash. When the news reached Washington, the president called an emergency meeting. Generals, scientists, and leaders from all over the world joined. They had one question: what just happened? Q. Answer came quickly. Using data from the wrecked ship and satellite recordings, scientists pieced together the truth. The alien war had somehow found Earth. The ship that crashed was a Zorvac vessel. It had escaped a battle and accidentally entered Earth's orbit. The enemy, the Thalkai, had followed it here. They didn't care about Earth. To them, it was just a battlefield. But for humans, this was their home. The president stood before the camera that evening. The world watched in fear. Cities were quiet. Streets were empty. Everyone waited to hear what would happen next. The president's voice was steady, but hard. "We didn't start this war," she said. "We didn't choose it, but it's here now. Our people are dead. Our land has been attacked, and we will not stand by. We will finish this war, without mercy." The words hit like thunder. Across the world, armies prepared. Satellites scanned space for more signs of alien movement. Scientists worked day and night to understand the alien technology. Fear turned into focus. Shock turned into action. Humanity was not going to wait for another attack. Unknown to most, something else was also happening. In the ruins of the base, deep under the ash and sand, a small black device began to glow. It had survived the blast. It was not human, and it had just sent a signal. Far away in deep space, something heard it. The war was not over. It had only just begun, and Earth was now a part of it. After the attack in Nevada, Earth was no longer quiet. Fear spread through every country. News of the alien crash and the destruction of the secret base couldn't be hidden for long. People around the world saw blurry satellite images, strange lights in the sky, and heard rumors about creatures not from Earth. Governments tried to control the panic, but the truth was out. Earth had been attacked by something not human, and more could come. The leaders of the world came together. For the first time in history, every major country agreed to work as one. The United Nations was given real power. A new group was formed, the Global Defense Command. Military experts, scientists, engineers, and spies from every nation joined. Their mission was simple: defend Earth at all costs. The wreckage from the Nevada crash was moved to a secret underground lab. Scientists from all over the planet were brought in. They studied the strange alien metal, the weapons, the computers, and the bodies. Nothing worked the way human machines did. Some weapons responded to thoughts. Some technology changed shape when touched. Even the dead bodies were strange. They didn't rot. Their skin was like armor. Their blood was thick and blue. Soon the scientists figured out the names. The dead aliens were called Zorvax. The ship's last log entry was translated. It spoke of a war with another race, the Thalkai. It said they were being hunted. The Zorvax were escaping when they crashed on Earth. The enemy had followed. The attack on the human base was not personal. Earth was just in the way. But humans had taken it personally. A new plan was made. Earth would not just defend, Earth would strike back. All military forces joined together. Air forces, navies, and armies combined into one large global force. Advanced AIs were given control of defense systems. Old space programs were restarted. New weapons were designed using stolen alien tech. Giant factories worked day and night to build drones, ships, and energy cannons. Earth was turning into a fortress. In secret, the first hybrid starship was built. It was called Phoenix 1. It had a human brain, human steel, but alien engines, and alien shields. It could move faster than light. It could fire lasers that could cut through mountains. And it was invisible to alien radar. But the alien war was still raging above Earth, far out in deep space. Small pieces of the battle were beginning to fall toward Earth. Strange satellites burned metal, cracked escape pods. Some held more bodies. Others held dangerous creatures that had survived the war and now landed on Earth. A few even attacked small towns before being killed. Still, something stranger happened. One day, a message came. It was not from the Thalkai. It was from the Zorvax. They were alive, and they were watching. The message was broadcast in a strange language, but Earth's best minds cracked it. The voice was deep, cold, and full of pain. The Zorvax offered a deal. "We did not mean to involve your world," the message said. "But now you are part of this war. We offer alliance. Help us defeat the Thalkai, and we will protect your species." The Global Defense Command held a long debate. Could the Zorvax be trusted? They had started this war. Their ship had brought danger to Earth. But maybe, just maybe, they could help end it. The humans decided to play along. They sent a reply. "We accept. Tell us what you know." While the Zorvax sent data and instructions, Earth's spies went to work. They didn't trust the aliens. Secret missions were launched to hidden alien crash sites. Human soldiers collected more tech. They hacked alien systems. They copied star maps. They learned. And what they learned was terrifying. The Thalkai were not just soldiers. They were destroyers. They did not take prisoners. They wiped out civilizations. They erased entire histories. If Earth lost this war, there would be nothing left. Not even ruins, not even memory. But humanity was changing fast. They were learning faster than anyone expected. Earth's first space fighters were launched. AI-controlled, laser-armed, fast, and deadly. These fighters caught a Thalkai, scout ship above the moon, and destroyed it. The aliens didn't expect resistance. Now they knew. Humans could fight back. And they would. The world watched in silence as the Phoenix 1 rose from its hidden base in Antarctica. It lifted slowly, glowing blue, engines humming like thunder. Soldiers saluted. Scientists held their breath. Children pointed at the sky. Humanity was stepping into the war, and Earth was no longer just a target. It was becoming a threat. But far above, beyond the stars, the Thalkai High Command received word of the human actions. Their leaders studied the reports. They were silent for a moment. Then one spoke. Primitive species. Weak bones. Short lives, but they learn, and they adapt. Fast. Another replied, "Then we crush them now, before they become a real problem." The order was given, the full force of the Thalkai was coming, and humanity would be ready. The Zorvaks had sent their message. They wanted help. They offered an alliance. But Earth didn't trust them. After all, their war had brought death to human soil. Still, Earth played along. They replied with careful words and fake smiles. Behind those words, humanity had a different plan. They would learn. They would listen. They would take everything they could from the Zorvaks. And then, they would act alone. In a dark meeting room under Geneva, the top leaders of the Global Defense Command gathered. The Zorvaks were powerful, yes, but they were also old. Their ships were large and heavy. Their war style was slow. Human commanders believed speed and surprise were Earth's strength. They would not be pawns in someone else's war. So, a secret team was formed. They were called Unit Black Echo, hand-picked from the best soldiers and spies in the world. This team had one mission: steal Zorvak technology and find the truth. Were the Zorvaks using Earth? Were they planning something worse? The Zorvaks allowed a small number of humans to visit one of their bases, an old space station floating near Saturn. From the outside, the station looked like a metal moon, cold, lifeless. But inside, it was full of strange machines, breathing walls, and glowing lights that moved like jellyfish. The humans acted friendly. They asked questions, took notes, and smiled. But Unit Black Echo moved in shadows. They found secret rooms. They hacked alien computers. They copied star maps, ship blueprints, and old war logs. And in one deep chamber, they found something terrifying: a prison. Inside were creatures from other worlds, aliens that had been captured by the Zorvaks long ago. Some were frozen in stasis, others were kept in cages. Many were already dead, but all of them had one thing in common. They were not enemies. They were victims. The Zorvaks had been conquerors once. Before the Thalkai rose up, the Zorvaks had ruled the galaxy with fear. They had enslaved planets, burned cities, destroyed freedom. Only when the Thalkai turned against them did their empire begin to fall. The humans returned to Earth with this knowledge. The leaders were furious. The alliance was a lie. The Zorvaks didn't care about Earth. They just wanted help to survive. If the war ended, Earth would be next on their list. But humanity was already one step ahead. In hidden labs across the world, human scientists were building something new. They were using alien parts but human ideas. The result: a new kind of weapon. Faster, smarter, deadlier. The first success was called Ghost Blade. It was a small fighter, flown by one human pilot, and built with a Zorvak gravity engine. It could dodge lasers. It could fly through asteroid fields. It could vanish from radar. And its weapons could punch through alien armor like paper. Soon, there were more. Ghost Blade 2, 3, and 4. Earth wasn't just defending anymore. Earth was preparing to strike. The president of Earth's United Command, General Myra Lang, stood before the secret base where the new fleet was being tested. She looked at her officers and said only one thing: "We don't need friends, we need to win." At the same time, strange signals began to appear near Jupiter. Long-range sensors picked up movement, alien codes, massive energy spikes. It was the Thalkai. They were sending a message too, louder than words. They had found Earth, and they were coming. Instead of fear, Earth's response was quiet focus. Satellites were repositioned. Orbital weapons were armed. The moon bases went dark, hiding from scanners. and Ghost Blade units were sent forward to find the enemy before the enemy found them. Meanwhile, another plan was in motion. Phoenix 1 had returned from its test missions. It had traveled to the edge of the solar system and back. Now it would go farther. It would go into alien space. A crew of elite soldiers and scientists boarded the ship. Their mission: find the Thalkai. Command structure: learn their weaknesses and prepare for Earth's first real attack in enemy territory. Before they left, one soldier from Ghost Unit 9 left a message on EarthNet. His words spread fast. They brought their war to our home. We're taking it back to theirs. The people of Earth cheered. For the first time in history, humans were going to another star. Not for peace, but for payback. But not everything was safe back home. High above the Arctic Circle, an alien pod crashed into the ice. It came silently, without warning. It opened, and something stepped out. Not a Zorvak, not a Thalkai. Something worse. It began to walk, and it was looking for humans. The war was not just above the stars anymore. It was coming to Earth in many forms, and Earth would need every weapon, every mind, and every ounce of courage to survive. But one thing was now clear to the galaxy. Humanity was no longer weak. Humanity was awake, and it would fight. Phoenix 1 moved faster than light. Its engines glowed bright blue as it shot through deep space heading toward Thalkai territory. Inside, the crew stayed silent. Each one of them knew they might never return. Captain Rena Cole led the mission. She was calm and focused, a former fighter pilot who had survived 5 alien battles. Her team included soldiers, scientists, and one quiet AI unit named Orion. Their goal was simple: find out how the Thalkai operated, learn their weak spots, and return with that knowledge. But deep space was not quiet. Only 3 days into the mission, strange shapes appeared outside the ship. Not ships, ghosts, flickering lights like shadows moving too fast. No radar picked them up, but the crew felt them. Cold, watching, moving, closer. Orion scanned the area. "We are not alone," it said flatly. Suddenly, alarms blared. Something was inside the ship. Captain Cole ordered full lockdown. All doors sealed. Lights dimmed to red. Weapons were drawn. The soldiers spread out in teams, searching every level of the ship. Then the first body was found. It was a scientist. His neck snapped. No sound had been heard. No fight had taken place. Who or what could move that fast? Security footage showed nothing. Just flickering static, shadows, cold fog. A new fear grew inside the ship. Something had come aboard during the jump. Something that was invisible to cameras and deadly to humans. Meanwhile, on Earth, chaos had begun. The pod that landed in the Arctic had released a creature. It wasn't a Thalkai. It wasn't a Zorvak. It was something else, something older. The thing was tall, thin, and walked like it had no bones. Its skin was black glass. Its eyes burned red. It didn't speak. It only moved, fast and silent, leaving behind frozen bodies. The Global Defense Command tried to track it. Drones flew overhead. Satellites followed heat signatures. But the creature kept vanishing like it knew how to hide from every human eye. A small town in northern Canada went dark. No signals, no people. When soldiers arrived, they found only frost and blood. The scientists gave it a name: the Warden. And they feared it was just the first. Back aboard Phoenix 1, the ghostly killer struck again. Another crew member gone. A soldier this time. His gun never fired. Only Orion seemed unaffected. Captain Cole made a choice. She ordered the crew into one chamber and sealed it. Then she asked Orion a question. "What is it?" Orion paused for a moment, then answered. "It is a Thalkai scout, biological. It slips between layers of time. It does not live fully, in this moment." Cole stared at the AI. "How do we kill it?" "There is only one way," Orion said. "Trap it in our time, and burn it. They set the trap using a device copied from the Zorvax. It could freeze a small area in normal time for 30 seconds. They placed the trap in the engine room. Then they waited. The thing came. It didn't crawl. It didn't walk. It just was. One moment empty space. Then suddenly, it was there. But this time, the trap activated. A flash of white light froze the room in time. The creature screamed, not with sound, but with pure pain inside the minds of everyone nearby. Soldiers opened fire. Explosions lit the ship. When the time trap ended, the creature was ash. Phoenix 1 was safe, at least for now. But the message was clear. The Thalkai were not just sending ships, they were sending monsters. On Earth, something worse was discovered. A deep space telescope picked up a strange object moving toward the solar system. It was massive, 10 times the size of any known ship. It didn't match any Thalkai or Zorvac design. And it was alive. It pulsed like a heart. It released clouds of gas that formed into smaller creatures. The scientists gave it a name, the Hive Moon. It would reach Earth in 12 days. All defenses were activated. The moon bases armed their cannons. Earth's fleets moved into position. Ghost Blade fighters were launched in waves. Humanity was ready, but they were scared. The Hive Moon was not just a ship. It was a factory, a breeding ground, and once it reached Earth's orbit, it could release millions of bioweapons. The world had one hope left, Phoenix 1. Captain Cole's team had survived the Ghost attack. Now they moved closer to the Thalkai command signal. Using stolen Zorvac maps, they followed a path through an old war zone. Finally, they saw it, a massive black ring floating in space, glowing with white fire. It wasn't a space station, it was a portal. Orion scanned it. This is where they come from. This is their gate. Cole looked at the ring. Can we shut it down? If we destroy the power source inside, Orion said, the portal will collapse, but we'll be trapped. Orion looked at her. Yes. Cole smiled. Then let's make it count. As Phoenix 1 prepared for a final run into the heart of the portal, Earth watched the sky. The Hive Moon was getting closer. The countdown had begun, and the war was reaching its end. But whose end? No one yet knew. The Hive Moon grew larger in Earth's sky. It was not just a ship, it was a living nightmare. Giant tendrils stretched from its surface, glowing with strange energy. Clouds of tiny creatures swarmed like angry bees. Cities below prepared for the worst. Earth's defense forces were ready. Laser cannons fired into the dark sky. Missile launchers roared. But nothing seemed to stop the Hive Moon. It moved closer, slowly, like a shadow creeping over the planet. Inside the global defense, Command General Myra Lang stared at the battle screens. Her jaw was tight. The fight was brutal. Fighters were destroyed. Missile strikes missed or were absorbed by the Hive's strange shields. Then came news from space. Phoenix 1 had reached the portal. Captain Rena Cole's voice came over the comms. We're going in. The crew knew what this meant. There was no turning back. They would enter the Thalkai Gate, the source of the war, and try to destroy it from inside. As Phoenix 1 entered the glowing ring, the ship shook. Time itself seemed to bend. Colors twisted. The crew held on as they passed through the portal and into a strange new space. This place was nothing like their own universe. Stars burned cold. The sky was blacker than night. Giant structures floated. In the distance, metal towers that reached into empty space covered in glowing runes. Suddenly alarms blared. The Thalkai had found them. Enemy ships appeared from shadows. Sleek, deadly, and fast. They surrounded Phoenix 1, firing beams of energy that could cut through steel. Captain Cole ordered evasive maneuvers. Ghost Blade fighters, launched from the ship, raced to meet the attackers. The battle was fierce. Explosions lit the dark void. The sound of laser fire filled the ship. Inside the command room, Cole's eyes were sharp. We have one chance, she said. Find the power core of the portal. Destroy it. The AI Orion guided the team. Power core detected. Deep inside the largest structure, but heavily guarded. The soldiers prepared for a dangerous mission. They suited up, armed with alien weapons and human courage. The airlock opened and they stepped into the unknown. The structure was huge. Cold metal walls stretched for miles. Strange machines hummed and pulsed. Shadows moved in the corners. Suddenly, the alarms changed. A new sound, deep growls and whispers in a language no human knew. The Thalkai guards appeared, tall, armored warriors with glowing swords. They charged. A fierce fight broke out. Bullets clashed with swords. Soldiers dodged and fired. One by one, the team pushed deeper into the complex, but the enemy was relentless. The battle was deadly. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the hive moon's tendrils reached lower, touching the atmosphere. Strange storms began. Electricity cracked the skies. People hid indoors. Cities prepared for invasion. General Lang's voice came over the comms. All units hold the line. Do not let them land. But the hive moon was not just a weapon. It was alive. It grew stronger with every attack. Back inside the portal structure, Captain Cole's team finally reached the power core. It was a glowing sphere of energy pulsing with light. Wires and tubes connected it to the walls. Orion started the self-destruct sequence. We have 3 minutes to get out. Suddenly, the Thalkai leader appeared. Tall, with cold eyes and a cruel smile. You cannot destroy this, he said. This gate is eternal. Cole raised her weapon. We will see. A final battle began. The leader fought like a shadow, fast and deadly. The team fought together, using every skill and weapon they had. Finally, Cole fired a powerful blast that struck the leader. He fell back, defeated. The core exploded. The portal started to collapse. The team ran back to Phoenix 1, dodging falling debris and enemy fire. The ship shook as the gate closed behind them. They had done it, but the fight was not over. As Phoenix 1 jumped back through the portal, the crew saw the hive moon close in on Earth. Then something unexpected happened. The explosion of the portal sent a shockwave through space. It hit the hive moon, damaging it badly. Its tendrils retracted. Its clouds of creatures scattered. Earth's defense forces seized the moment. Missiles hit the hive moon's surface. Fighters swarmed and destroyed smaller ships. The tide was turning. General Lang smiled. We did it, we're winning. But the victory was bitter. Thousands of soldiers and civilians had died. Cities were ruined. And the war had only shown its true face. Captain Cole and her crew returned to Earth as heroes. But they knew the real war was far from over. The Zorvaks were still out there watching. The Thalkai were wounded, but not destroyed. And new threats waited in the dark corners of the universe. For now, Earth had survived. But one thing was certain. Humanity was no longer a victim. They were fighters, and they would finish this war without mercy. After the portal's destruction, Earth breathed a moment of relief, but the victory felt fragile, like standing on thin ice. The hive moon was broken, but not dead. The Zorvaks had not attacked yet, watching quietly from the shadows. Captain Rena Cole and her crew returned to Earth as heroes, but they carried heavy secrets. The fight inside the portal had changed them. Some crew members were injured, others haunted by what they had seen. Machines that seemed alive, whispers that echoed in their minds, and the terrible realization that the war was far bigger than anyone imagined. In a secret base deep underground, General Myra Lang met with Captain Cole and the world's top leaders. The room was tense. We stopped the gate, Cole said, but the Thalkai will try again. Their war machines are still out there. And the Zorvaks? They are preparing. Lang nodded. Our scientists detected a massive Zorvak fleet moving toward the outer solar system. They are gathering for a strike. We must act fast. The leaders agreed on one plan. Strike first. Using the stolen Zorvak technology, Earth built a fleet stronger than ever before. Faster ships, better weapons, and new defenses that could resist the Hive Moon's bioweapons. The Ghost Blade fighters had become legends, each one a deadly hunter of enemy ships. But this time the war would move beyond Earth's home. A fleet of human warships left the safety of the solar system. They headed toward the Zorvak fleet's location, far beyond Neptune's orbit. The mission was dangerous: destroy the enemy before they could attack Earth. Captain Cole was chosen to lead the strike group. The journey was long and quiet. The crew trained and prepared, knowing the battle ahead would be the toughest they had faced. One night, as the ships drifted in the black cold of space, a warning came. Zorvak ships appeared on the horizon. Thousands of them. The battle had begun. Lasers lit the darkness. Explosions rocked the fleet. Ships were torn apart by heavy fire. The human fleet fought hard, using every tactic and weapon they had. Ghost Blade fighters darted in and out of enemy lines. Pilots risked everything to protect their ships, but the Zorvaks were ruthless and smart. They had traps and surprises. Suddenly, a new weapon fired from the enemy flagship, a massive beam of pure energy that sliced through the human ships like a knife. Several ships exploded instantly. The fleet commander's voice crackled. Fall back, but Captain Cole refused. No retreat, she said. We finish this today. With fierce determination, she led a squadron directly toward the Zorvak flagship. The fighters weaved through heavy fire, dodging missiles and laser storms. The flagship was a fortress, covered with armor stronger than anything they had seen. Still, Cole and her team pushed forward. They targeted the ship's energy core, hoping to cripple it before more damage was done. The battle was brutal. Fighters fell one by one. The flagship's defenses fired back fiercely. But then, a sudden explosion rocked the ship. The energy core was hit. The flagship shuddered, then exploded into a cloud of fire and metal. The Zorvak fleet faltered. Seeing their leader destroyed, the enemy ships began to retreat. Earth's fleet was battered but victorious. Back on Earth, news of the battle spread quickly. People cheered, but the cost was clear. Thousands of brave soldiers were gone. General Lang spoke to the world. We won a battle, not the war. The enemy is wounded but still dangerous. We must stay strong, united. Meanwhile, Captain Cole returned to base, tired but ready. She knew this was only the beginning. The war had changed Earth forever. Humans had fought gods and monsters, survived alien monsters and impossible weapons. Now they were no longer just survivors. They were warriors, and the war, they would finish it, no matter the cost. No mercy. The war was no longer far away. It was at Earth's doorstep. Even after the Zorvak fleet's defeat, danger grew closer and darker. The Hive Moon was not gone. It had scattered, but the creatures it carried had begun to swarm many places on Earth. Strange sickness spread in some cities. People disappeared. Panic rose. Governments declared emergency lockdowns. Captain Rena Cole and her crew were sent back to Earth's surface to help fight this new threat. They joined special teams called the Sentinels, soldiers trained to hunt and kill the Hive Moon's creatures hidden in the shadows. Cole's team landed in a ruined city. Buildings were broken, streets empty. The sky was gray with smoke. Their mission was clear: find the Hive Moon's nests and destroy them. They moved carefully. Every step could be their last. In the dark underground tunnels, something watched them. Silent, waiting. Suddenly, a scream echoed. From the shadows, strange alien creatures jumped out. Their bodies were twisted with sharp claws and glowing eyes. They attacked without mercy. The Sentinels fought back fiercely. Guns roared, blades flashed. Cole's team pushed forward, clearing the tunnels one room at a time. But the deeper they went, the stronger the creatures became. The Hive Moon was not just a ship or a place. It was a living hive, spreading its poison through Earth itself. Back at the Global Defense Command, General Myra Lang faced a growing crisis. Civilian casualties are rising, she told her commanders. We need a solution, fast. The scientists worked day and night. They developed a new weapon, a biological, agent that could destroy the hive moon creatures without harming humans. It was called Venom X. Venom X was risky. It had never been tested outside labs, but the alternative was worse. Lang gave the order. Venom X would be deployed in the infected zones immediately. The Sentinels received the new weapon as they fought. Cole held the small device in her hand, feeling its cold weight. "Time to end this," she said quietly. The team released Venom X deep in the tunnels. The poison spread quickly, burning through the alien nests. Creatures screamed and fell. The air cleared. For a moment, hope returned. But then something worse happened. The hive moon itself reacted. From space, it sent a massive wave of energy, an attack that struck Earth's defenses hard. Satellites were destroyed. Communications cut off. Cities lost power. The hive moon was fighting back. In the chaos, strange signals appeared on Earth's networks. They were not human or alien. They were something new, something dangerous. Orion, the AI from Phoenix 1, analyzed the signals. "These are commands," it said. "The hive moon is controlling its creatures on Earth remotely." Cole realized the war was changing. It was no longer just a battle in space or cities. It was a fight for control of the planet itself. As Venom X fought in the tunnels, the hive moon's influence spread through machines, networks, and minds. Human technology began to fail. The war had become a virus. But humans had one last chance. Scientists discovered a hidden code inside the hive moon's signals. It was a weakness, a way to fight back. Cole's team, now joined by hackers and engineers, raced to build a weapon that could send a countersignal, a digital virus to destroy the hive moon's control. It was a desperate plan. If it failed, the hive moon would take over everything. The team launched their attack from a hidden base. The virus entered the network like a ghost, sneaking past defenses. For minutes, nothing happened. Then, suddenly, machines all over Earth shut down. The hive moon's creatures lost control. They collapsed. Earth's systems came back online. General Lang smiled. "We won." But the victory was costly. The planet was wounded. The war had scarred everything. Captain Cole looked at the sky, knowing one thing. The war was not over. It had only changed, and humanity's fight for survival would continue. No mercy, no surrender. The war had reached its darkest hour. Earth was tired and broken, but its people refused to give up. The hive moon's attack had been stopped, but the threat still loomed. The Zorvacs were silent, waiting in the cold void beyond the stars, and the Thalkai were wounded but ready to strike again. Captain Rena Cole stood on the command bridge of the rebuilt Phoenix 1. The ship was now the symbol of Earth's fight. Stronger, faster, and armed with weapons stolen from the aliens. Her crew was tired but determined. Every person on board knew this mission could be their last. "This is it," Cole said, her voice calm but firm. "We have one chance to end this war. We go to the heart of the enemy." Their target was the ancient homeworld of the Thalkai, a place hidden beyond a dangerous wormhole in the far reaches of space. The Thalkai had used their portal to send endless waves of war machines and monsters to Earth. If the humans destroyed their world, the war would end. But no one knew what waited on the other side. The crew prepared for the jump. The engines roared. The stars stretched and twisted as Phoenix 1 moved through the wormhole. Time and space bent around them. When they emerged, the ship floated above a dark, dying planet. The surface was covered in ruins, burned cities, and strange towers glowing with eerie light. The atmosphere was thin and toxic, but the planet was alive with danger. Suddenly, alarms blared. Hundreds of Thalkai ships surrounded Phoenix 1. The enemy was ready. The battle began. Lasers and missiles flew through the dark sky. The crew fought hard, dodging attacks and returning fire. Ghost blade fighters swarmed the enemy ships, destroying many, but more kept coming. Captain Cole gave the order. "Prepare for landing. We must reach the power core beneath the surface." The ship shook as it entered the planet's atmosphere. Enemy fire hit the shields again and again, but the crew stayed focused. They landed near a giant tower, the heart of the Thalkai power. Inside was the core controlling their war machines and portals. Cole and her team exited the ship, armed and ready. The tunnels inside were dark and cold. Strange creatures and machines moved silently, guarding the core. The team moved carefully, fighting enemies at every turn. The deeper they went, the more the air grew heavy with power. Finally, they reached the core room. It was huge, a glowing sphere of light and energy surrounded by alien machines. The core pulsed like a heartbeat. Orion, the AI, connected to the core's systems. "I am starting the shutdown sequence. It will take 5 minutes." Suddenly, the ground trembled. The Thalkai leader appeared, a towering figure with glowing eyes and armor that seemed to burn with fire. "You think you can end us?" he growled. "This war is eternal." Cole raised her weapon. "Not while we stand." The final battle began. The leader was strong and fast, but Cole's team fought as one. Bullets, energy blasts, and blades clashed against the enemy. The room shook with power. Orion counted down the shutdown. 2 minutes left. The leader charged Cole. She dodged and fired, hitting his armor. He roared in pain but kept fighting. With seconds left, the core began to collapse. The glowing sphere cracked and exploded in light. The tower shook violently. Cole's team ran for the exit as the whole place started falling apart. They reached Phoenix 1 just in time. The ship blasted off as the planet's core exploded. A huge shockwave spread through space, destroying the Thalkai fleet and closing all enemy portals. The war was over. Back on Earth, people watched the sky. The stars shone brighter. The war machines were gone. The hive moon was silent. Captain Cole and her crew returned as heroes. The world was free, but the cost was heavy. Thousands had died. Cities were lost. The scars of war would never fully heal. Still, humanity stood tall. The war was not theirs at first. But they finished it without mercy, because that is what it means to survive, to fight, to win,